Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News. That's right. It's Tuesday, April 5th, 3 months away from the July 11th season premiere of Bachelorette, starring our two new ladies, Rachel Recchia and Gabby Winley. What's her name? Anyway, we've got some real scraping of the barrel. As you guys know, it's Barrel Scraping Dave here. So get your scraper tools and come join me as we really fish for whatever's left in this pond of Bachelor news. Heckled. Actually, this is a fun story. Heckled. Grocery store Joe's told, "Get a real job, you loser." Now, some people are saying this is staged. I don't think this is staged. This feels like a Chicago moment to me. Grocery store Joe, which, by the way, doesn't own a grocery store anymore, sold it, but he was known as that, walks out of a store with his tomato sauce. What do they call it? What do the Italians call tomato sauce? Their syrup? What's it called again? Their gravy? What do you call it? Either way, it's tomatoes puree. That's what it is. You put it on other things. Tom Brady doesn't eat tomato sauce. It says it keeps his knees inflamed. Oh, so that's why I never made it pro, because I ate one too many meatball marinaras. Anyway, so we're going to get into this. I'm going to play the TikTok for you guys of Joe leaving. You tell me, is it staged or did this actually happen? Now, of course, we're going to go over the idea that Joe doesn't have a real job. I talk all the time about late stage capitalism. It's that idea. It's the end of the Monopoly game, right? The Monopoly game's ending. Nobody owns anything except for one person, right? We talk all the time about these Russian oligarchs, these billionaires in Russia and how evil they are. Meanwhile, we have billionaire oligarchs. We have Jeff Bezos shooting that, flaccid rocket into the moon. We've got, Elon Musk scooping up 11% of Twitter. We have oligarchs in our country, and they're trying their best to keep us from, they're trying their best to increase their shareholders' net profits while sort of not worrying about any ethical or environmental or other issues that exist out there, right? That's what late stage capitalism is. We see the CEO of Starbucks getting upset, getting very, very mad at the evil doings of these people that are trying to unionize, which are, there's successful unions being made in Walmart and Staten Island, and Starbucks has a couple of unions coming about. And all these union employees want is, maybe to make 20 or 25 bucks an hour. Well, if we paid everybody 25 bucks an hour, how are we going to afford our yachts? You know what I mean? Which, of course, we know $25 an hour in today's world is like chump change. It really doesn't buy you much, guys. 25 bucks an hour is barely enough for a living wage here. Oh, well, stop drinking coffee on the road and brew your own coffee at home, and then you can, you know what I mean? It's all hogwash. So the old idea of, get a real job. What did a real job ever do for us? How come you got to go on Bachelor in Paradise, bump Harrison's underneath a palapa as a way to build equity because you build a fan base, and then you can sell tomato paste? There's nothing wrong with that. And Grocery Store Joe was actually quite successful before he got into the Bachelor franchise. Anyway, let's get into it and watch this clip here. This is Joe promoting his product while in the background someone yells, "Get a real job, you loser."
Joe and all the Woodmans in Illinois. I love all the support from everyone in all the stores.
Get a real job, you bachelor loser.
Fuck off, asshole. It's been great.
So he says, "Get a real job, you bachelor loser." Now, the more I watch this, the more I feel like it actually might be staged. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that Chicago suburbs are this street rough here. We'll watch it one more time. Someone said the amount of people in his comments that don't realize this is staged. I don't know, guys. Like I said, let me know. Is it staged? Am I an idiot? So he's selling his product here. There it is here. Sundays with Joe. And of course, I checked on it to make sure there's no added sugar. There's nothing worse than the over-sugarified world that we live in, you know what I mean? Again, it's more late-stage capitalism. It's like it's cheap to throw sugar in products. It makes it taste better. That's why McDonald's makes their coffee so hot. It doesn't make it better. You can't taste how bad it is. So, of course, they make scalding hot coffee. What does Joe Joe, Grocery Store Joe, do for a living? Everything about his job and net worth. So this was a few years ago. He was listed at $1 to $5 million. He was one of the youngest traders on the Chicago Stock Exchange, and of course owned a grocery store company, which he has sold. So he's 36 now, and he's worth a lot more money. They say he's listed at 5'8". That seems short for Joe, considering most guys in The Bachelor are so tall. Either way, and again, I've criticized him just because he looks like he doesn't care at all about the podcast he's a part of. And I get that. He's a salaried employee. Salaried employees have no incentive to perform well. He doesn't want to be on the podcast. And who would? Those podcasts are so boring. They're stuck by these iron-laden contracts and this and that. Anyway, here's what Bachelor Data, our good friend Susanna, had to say about Bachelor contestants going back to real jobs. Here's what she had to say about that.
Find this request so funny because most people don't consider content creators or influencers a real job. And it's also especially ironic now because the question comes to me and I guess I don't have a real job anymore.
And I don't have a real job. I haven't had a real job in 15 years, to be honest. I've worked as an actor, writer, stand-up, Uber driver, whatever I can get a hold of, really. But yeah, I mean, I think when people say real job, it's almost like someone's drowning in the ocean, and rather than have the lifeguard save them, they want to drag the lifeguard in with them. Now, I'm not saying everyone with a real job's drowning out there, but there are a lot of people that are like okay with their rinky-dink job. It's like it pays them enough money for the security it provides. They don't have to worry about what comes next. It covers their health insurance. But again, we live in a weird society where health insurance is tied to employment. Can we normalize how messed up that is? Can we normalize how messed up that somebody who has a job is now worth more? Their life is worth more, and valued more because they have an insurance over their life, their health, versus someone who's unemployed, who literally could not get checked up on, not get pre-screened for their issues. They got throbbing moles on their back. They don't want to get checked out. That tooth hurts. They can't even chew on that side of the tooth anymore. You know what I mean? All the issues that we have out there because we've tied health insurance to jobs. Now, companies have used health insurance, a basic human right. Don't get me in the Bernie. It's a basic human right. They've used health insurance here, right, to incentivize people. Well, you should work for our company there, Peter. Yeah, we've got a good health insurance program, and we'll match your 401k, which means if you work for 40 years with us, you might be, gross.
But what I think is like really lost in this whole conversation is that people don't consider it a real job. I do data analysis and I teach people Excel, so a lot of people don't put me in that category. But influencers need to negotiate contracts, they need to create content, they need to create a community.
Don't get me started.
And not only is that a real job, regardless if you consider it a real job, they get time back in their lives to spend with their family, to travel, and most of them make more money than they did in their previous job. So it's a no-brainer for them to go down that route.
Yeah, absolutely. And some people go back to their previous jobs, right? Some people like, I believe Olivia Caridi, is that how you say her name? And not Amanda Stanton, but Ben Higgins' ex, Lauren Bushnell. They went back to their jobs as flight attendants, and they just couldn't really do it. They were kind of like famous now. It was, Jason Tartick, of course, got fired from his job. So you really look at like the pros and cons of going back to your real job versus building equity in what it is you do. Because look, you can get someone like Grocery Store Joe, who was voted out night one of Becca Kufrin's season. Is that right? Which is surprising because you'd think these two Midwesterners would love each other. Do I have the right people here? Sometimes my brain fails me. And because he was voted out night one, people were like, oh, come on, this guy was great. And then all of a sudden he does this thing on Bachelor in Paradise, and he spins the worst slot you could get, which is voted off night one, and he turns it into like $1 million empire. And I would call that an empire here. So anyway, we go to where... let's see, here's his company, right? And then we found his address. And again, this might be a little weird, 940 Greenleaf Ave. But I just typed it into the warehouse here. Because, when I buy I don't know about you guys, when I buy products from a company, I like to suss out the environment. It looks like it's on a nice street in the Midwest there outside of the Chicago suburbs. But where's 940? There's 940 right there. So, let's see if we can find... it looks like a nice mom and pop shop over here. This is where Greenleaf Avenue. Yeah, that's where he makes his his gravy or whatever the kids call it. So very nice. I approve. You could maybe get some maybe get your landlord to do a nice blacktop over here. It looks a little old on the pavement, but I know Chicago winters can probably be tough. So anyway, and by the way, everyone when you live in the Midwest has a nice big car. You know what I mean? Move to LA, you need a Prius just to get around. Everyone's got a big car there. Okay, I digress. So anyway, that's what Susanna had to say about it. And it's like, look, I always tell people this. Look, if you like your job and you're happy with it, great. But the second your company can downsize or get rid of you or maximize profits in another way, or, consolidate, putting more workload onto you. You know, it used to be, you know, if you did your job, that was it. Now it's like you do your job, automation helps the owners, and you just get more workload put on you. So a lot of people aren't happy with their job, and then they see a guy run out of a grocery store with his tomato sauce there, and they say, get a real job, loser. And even if it is staged, the point still stands that it's like, that's an entrepreneur. You know, call it what it is. That's an entrepreneur. And he's got tomato sauce, and maybe I should get some hot. Should I get some hot sauce? What food should I get? Some Dave's clam chowder? What? Step into Dave's clam chowder. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. We might have one more video coming. I'm going to be jumping on Reality Steve's podcast in a little bit, which will air later this week, so I might not have time for it, but depending on the news, we'll have more content. If you want to catch up on all of the behind-the-scenes content, go to patreon.com/Dave Neal. And I've also got my new stand-up channel, Dave Neal Stand-Up Clips. I just released a new video today about a incident I had at the gym shower. You're going to like that one. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment below. We'll see you all in a little bit. Bye, everybody.